Good afternoon. My name is Jay Sheik. I'm a comic book artist and illustrator, and for the past week or so I've been on a little bit of a hiatus since I've been churning out at least one piece of content every day from July 19th, 2025 through July 19th of this year. I needed a break. But roughly a year ago, sometime in late July, maybe early August, I had done a tutorial video on how to draw hands. And kind of attendant to that, somebody had just recently asked if I had ever covered drawing a fist. And I don't believe that I have. So in lieu of a Wildcard Wednesday video this week, let's talk about drawing some fists, shall we? Compared to other gestures within the common repertoire of the human hand, the fist is both one of the easiest to make and also to draw. Most of it is just keeping a few simple things in mind. Foremost in my mind as I'm scribbling away in my sketchbook is communicating the gentle rise of the knuckles from the low end of the pinky to the peak of the middle finger knuckle before it slopes down toward the index finger and drifts off into the saddleback of the thumb folded underneath. Now, if you look at your own hand as you make a fist, you may notice that your fingers all angle inward slightly, similar to how parallel lines converge toward a vanishing point when you're drawing in linear perspective. As it comes out in the drawing, I'm adding a slight diagonal in the lines that show the separations between each finger. When viewing a fist front on, a lot is hidden by the fingers, including the very complicated counter angle of the thumb, which in this case just gets expressed like the little squiggle that turns an O into a capital Q. One other thing to point out here, and this is for hands in general, is the relationship from hand to wrist. The wrist doesn't just terminate in a hand shape, there is actually a slope down across the back of the hand. So when drawing fists in profile, you might get a fist that's in its straight alignment with the wrist, but accounting for this subtle change in direction will lend more realism to your drawings. Finally, where I've used a simple rectangle as a scaffolding for my front-on foreshortened fist, drawing one from another or really any angle can be simplified by creating a rectangular prism. Think of this as a box into which your fist could be packaged for shipment. I'm using the diagonal plane along the left side to frame up a slightly amended version of the earlier fist. As you'll see, the thumb does get slightly more complicated as I now need to draw its length and angle where it hooks beneath my curled index finger. And one last little thing, when drawing the little pit where the index finger curls and the thumb wraps around, that internal space is like a vortex or a Fibonacci spiral. This thumb is actually the least complicated part about this, really just an underline to how I'm expressing these finger segments as diagonal dashes with a common center. Well, that's a very brief overview of how I at least begin to sketch out fists when I am drawing them in the context of a comic book. There's obviously a lot more to cover, different angles like underneath, like this kind of view, and things that I will cover in future tutorials. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, I have a backlog of content that covers all kinds of different things. Do check it out. And as always, thank you for stopping by.